So today, we're going to be talking about a dental malpractice horror story. More specifically, we'll be talking about an example of one of the worst case scenarios in dentistry. And the story I'm about to tell you is a real story. Now, I'm not going to mention names, but this happened to someone. And it's an example of one of the most serious dental malpractice cases I've ever seen. So the patient goes into the dentist. And the dentist tells her that she needs to have her wisdom teeth taken out, even though she's older and she's never had any problem with them. And there's no indication that she needs to have her wisdom teeth taken out. But she doesn't know that, and she doesn't want to argue with her doctor, so she agrees. And the dentist goes in and removes the wisdom teeth. Now, the top two wisdom teeth come out without really any problems. However, while removing the bottom wisdom teeth, the dentist fractures the patient's jaw on the right side. And the dentist finishes removing the wisdom teeth and just sends the patient home. There's no discussion whatsoever about the broken jaw. After a few days, the patient's concerned because she's still experiencing serious pain. And the patient begins to develop swelling, and she gets really worried. So she calls the dentist, and he says, "Oh, it's no problem. It's a normal part of the healing process." And the dentist prescribes her some antibiotics over the phone. Over the next week, the patient develops intense swelling in her jaw and has a swollen area about the size of a baseball on the right side. So she goes in to see the dentist, and he physically examines her. He doesn't take an x-ray. He doesn't take a biopsy. Instead, he tells her everything's fine again and sends her home with another prescription for antibiotics. Now another few weeks pass, and the patient is in real trouble. She's sweating, she's burning up, she can't sleep, and she's obviously in excruciating pain. Also, the swelling will not go down. It keeps getting worse. And at this point, she's fed up with her dentist, and she goes to another doctor for another opinion. And the new doctor takes an x-ray and discovers the fracture. The new doctor also discovers that the patient's jaw has been eaten away by osteomyelitis. And so the patient's immediately sent to the hospital. Once the patient arrives at the hospital, they do a culture of the infection and determine that she does, in fact, have osteomyelitis. And as a result, she's put on IV antibiotics, and then she's put on a PICC line, so she can have powerful antibiotics running through her bloodstream for months. Now, after the infection is tamed and under control, the patient must now start down the road to recovery. And the first step's to have her jaw resectioned. In other words, the doctors have to go in and remove a massive portion of her jaw on the right side. Then she has to have a titanium implant placed in her jaw to bridge the gap in the missing portion of her jaw. Additionally, once this heals for a sufficient length of time, the patient must now have bone from her hip removed so that this hip bone can be used to rebuild her jaw. And let's not forget about this. Besides all the horror associated with the jaw reconstruction, the patient will also have permanent nerve damage for the rest of her life. Because when she lost that portion of her jaw due to the osteomyelitis, she suffered permanent damage to the inferior alveolar nerve because it runs right through the middle of your jaw. So for the rest of this patient's life, she's going to have to deal with numb lips, numb gums, and a numb chin on the right side. Now, this is one of the most serious types of dental malpractice cases, and you don't see cases that are much worse than this. However, this horrific story is an example of something terrible that happens every single year as a result of dental negligence. This patient had well over $100,000 in medical damages for all the surgeries and hospital visits. And she also lost nerve function on the right side of her face. And all this happened as a result of a tooth extraction. She had no idea that this was a possible outcome for her. It was truly worst case scenario. Well, that's all I have for you today. If you've dealt with serious injuries as a result of dental malpractice, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're happy to give you a free consultation and talk with you about whatever you've been experiencing. All you have to do to schedule a free consultation with us is call us at the number below in the video description. Or you can look us up at www.carelessdentist.com. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you next time.